Hello Flosstube, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy Clarissa. This is Allegro Stitches. Today is Sunday, 30th, I think, of January 2022. I've got a pile here on the couch. It's time to clean it off again, so figured I might as well do a video. It's long overdue, I know, I'm sorry. Life's busy, like it has been for everyone. So I pulled out finishes from November, December, January, and I have all those to show you. I'll do a little mini WIP parade. I don't necessarily have what it's supposed to look like pictures, but you can skip that part if you really have to see that, because I don't have time for editing, and I think that has kept me from doing a video for a while, because, you know, Christmas was the end of December, and I got sick when I was going to do a video in November, right before Thanksgiving. It was the perfect week. I had all these plans, and none of them happened. So I think I can keep up with once a month and do a wrap-up if I don't have to edit. So if you are all for seeing the finished photo, you might want to skip through that part. I will try to put a timestamp in the description box. That is way easier than inserting the time into the video and editing. So, what have I been up to stitching wise? Well, I did finish the two pieces for my mom and my sister for Christmas. My sister got Dog Bone Wisdom, and I borrowed it back from her so that I can show it to you and then order a frame for it as well. Here it is. You don't need the finished picture on this one. This is it. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like. It's by Stony Creek. It's called Dog Bone Wisdom, and I used all the colors it was supposed to have in all the correct places. The only thing I don't think was like the correct thing was the metallic here along the border. It's like a little outline backstitch, and I used a DMC metallic, and I probably wrote down which one, but I don't think the pattern called for DMC metallic. I think it called for something different, like Kreinik. I did run out of this border color, this variegated threadworks, and if my sister sees this, she'll know. Otherwise, it's a big secret. And down here, I just picked the colors that were closest and filled it in because I ran out. I think right here, this much is what I had left to do. Just this top part, not the bottom part, just this top part. That's what I had left to do of the variegated, and it was out. So I don't think you can tell. I don't think she knows. Unless she watches this, she won't know. But there's Dog Bone Wisdom. So I finished that in December. You can tell it's been folded this way. Yes, I carried those. I sure did. You can't tell. Yes, you can tell it's been folded that way because of the crease through the middle. I'll have to iron it once more, but it did look perfect when I gave it to her for Christmas. This one I finished recently. Sometime in January. I started the 5th in 2019 before I realized that's not true. I started stitching in 2019. The stitch along was to have started in 2020. Yes, it was released in December of 2019. I won it from Benny Stitchy, and the stitch along was going to start January 5th. And the fabric I ordered hadn't come in, and I was like all panicked because I had to start January 5th. I know so much more about stitch alongs now. So I dyed this last second, you know, so I could start on the 5th. And I put it right in the middle because I wanted the light spots to end up right where they are. So I kind of did a specific placement on it. And I used some over dyes and some of the DMCs. This is the entire chart. I had thought about doing, you know, not this outer ring, and then I went ahead and did the outer ring because I was pretty sure I had enough to frame it, and I'm going to look for either a round frame or a square frame with a round mat because it needs something circular. And I think this turned out fabulous. I love it. This is Sleeping Bee by the Blue Flower. And a 22 count Hardinger 1 of 1. I also finished, I want to say in December, Tatty Teddy from Christmas 2018 Cross Stitcher. Maybe. It's linked, or is it linked? I know I've inserted, not videos, pictures of the cover. It made the cover of the magazine, that issue. I think it was Christmas 2018. I have this as a digital copy, or I probably would have pulled the magazine just to make sure I was saying the right one. But, oh, so much backstitch. I used everything required on this one too, except I dyed this piece of fabric, I think probably with black and purple and navy, or navy. I'm not exactly sure. And I probably didn't take very good notes. And it's a linen, and then this blue was not supposed to be blue. This is a blue satin DMC. I don't remember what it was supposed to be. Silver, black, red. I'm not really sure. I always saw it as blue, so I made it blue. And there's a little bit of satin up here for the berries by the hat, but yeah, so much backstitch. Oh, it took hours to backstitch this, but he's so cute. No whisper floss or anything fancy, just I added a whole bunch of fractionals that weren't supposed to be there because little bits of stitches sticking out where it's not supposed to be fluffy really bother me. So I did a lot of fractionals in that ribbon. But he's so cute. He's so cute. So that's Teddy. Cross Stitcher Christmas 2018, I think. DMC, all call for DMC, except for that blue one. These I actually purchased. 1884 Stitchery has had some fabulous things the last couple of months. So these are just Nans that I bought as a set. Flower goes this way. Because I thought they would go nicely with this one, which is on a much lighter fabric, but they're, you know, similar size, similar colors. I think they'll go okay together. So they're all on different fabrics. These I did not stitch, but we'll pretend that they belong together. This one is called Butterfly Lace. I don't know about the other two, just that they're just Nan charts. This is Butterfly Lace, and I just added the beads to this. So I don't remember when I finished the stitching, but I just added the beads, and I don't know if you can tell, but there are beads on there. Minus the giant butterfly bead charm in the middle. Yep. I can't even tell you if I used Chrynate Gold. I'm pretty sure I used DMC Gold again. I used the Unicorn Thread Gloss by Robot Mom Sews, and I have a very bad sense of smell. I've never had a very good sense of smell. Didn't know it till I think college, when people would talk about the smell of the leaves. I think it was autumn time, and there was talk of autumn scents, and I was like, what? We don't have a very long autumn up here, and I've never noticed the scents. I'm cooking dinner on Wednesdays in the crock pot while I'm teaching, and my parents are talking about, the students' parents are talking about the scent that's coming from the kitchen and how it makes them hungry, and they're guessing what we're having for dinner, and I've completely forgotten that I'm making dinner. I'm focused on lessons. I don't smell it. But it makes me feel fancy to have Unicorn Thread Gloss. So this past, that holiday right by Thanksgiving. It's not really a holiday. Black Friday. It's not really a holiday, but, you know, shopping holiday. I ordered a couple new scents. I had to get North Pole. I mean, how can you live in North Pole and not have the North Pole Thread Gloss? So this is what the holiday ones look like. And she might not have red tins anymore. They said they were getting pretty expensive, and either she was going to have to up her price again, or she was going to stop with the red tins. So I think she decided to stop with the red tins. And she tells you what all these different scents are, and, you know, the combination of this, that, and the other. I pretend I can smell them. Some days it's better than others. But I got a Princess Aurora one. I got a Candy Apple. I got North Pole. And then I already had something with caramel. Salted caramel, maybe? So I have a few now. And I like to pretend that I can smell them. The normal ones look like this in a silver tin. So, yep. And then the scent is always a sticker on the bottom. So, that's what I use for metallics. It works like a dream. I also use it on the satin in Teddy Teddy. It's amazing. Amazing. If it sounds familiar, the pumpkins from the Frosted Pumpkins. And I know they're not called the pumpkins. Ashley and Amanda, they also use that product. Light effects, like all the stuff that's difficult to work with, it's amazing. So, worth the money. I did not use any on this. It does not have any metallics in it, but it has beads and, again, a ton of backstitch. This is by Doreen. No, it's not. I want to say that every time. It's by Joan Elliott, and it was a freebie in her Facebook group. I know, don't look too closely. This one's lovely. It's perfect. This is off-centered. And somehow, some way, this is a stitch. It's 51 by 52. It's not quite square. So it's a stitch short somewhere. And I just made sure they're exactly the same. And I'm going to do a little experiment to see if I can put them together that way. I think it's going to work out, but you know, I'm going to have to pay attention to which sides are, I think it's these two, are a stitch shorter and these two are a stitch longer. And then, yeah, I just left my thread there because that's where I'm going to start putting it together. So I'm just holding it in the back. Oh, I also stitched my logo in November, right there. Yep. To get a watermark to use for Instagram. I've been really bad at posting to Instagram. But if you follow me on Etsy, I have been putting a lot of new kitted up pouches in the Etsy shop. Like 100 and over 125 new kitted ups this month in the Etsy shop. And then I think last month? I did quite a few art books. November, I did some ABC bags. I did some custom order ABC bags. Yeah, I think that's how it's gone. And I'm going to do a little palette cleanser, do some non-vinyl products, and those will go in the shop probably this weekend, so the first part of February, and then I'll go back to ABC's, art books, see how the kitted ups are doing. We'll go from there. So, this I finished. It was recent. Was it this morning? Was it really this morning? I think it was. It's terrible. I think it was this morning. This is Hot Cocoa is Calling. It's by Cherry Hill Stitchery. The first chart I've done of hers. It's adorable. The pattern was in my Christmas, I keep calling it my Christmas box. It was the Be Stitch Me Winter Solstice box. There's the picture I have for it. It's tiny. It's on card, but the picture is like a little tiny stamp in the corner. So there's the cover photo. It's out just because I finished it super recently. And there are a couple mistakes. They're tiny. Like the cup handle is one stitch bigger, a bigger handle than it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit closer to the cup. I realized it too late and I was like, I like big cups. It's fine. Big handles are great. There's an extra stitch in the W, which I didn't realize till I was putting the bird in. It's fine. No, I was putting the snowflake in because the snowflake is supposed to have 2 stitches to the N, 2 stitches to the W. It has 1. So it's fine. It's fine. It's a snowflake. Snowflakes don't fall perfectly centered in between things. Like it's fine. Oh, and the N is a stitch too high. It's fine. The snowman's perfect. So, very, very cute. And this is on butterfly lace was what came in the kit, which it wasn't labeled. So it's one of the 2 fabrics, I'm assuming, one of the 2 fabrics that was recommended. And the bunnies were on, it's DMC again, with the recommended beads. Antique white, I think it was. Lugana 32. This is 16 count Cafe au lait fiber on a whim. And I won this as one of my prizes doing the Black Mule Society Autumn Stars Hollow. It was. Yes, it was. So I have a whole fat quarter and I thought it looked really, really pretty. It was recommended to stitch on Hot Cocoa by Be Stitch Me, but it's too pink. I couldn't get over the bit of pinkness. And then I saw this. It was the same shade and less pink, more brown. Yeah, brown it is. Oh, this is a planned start for this year. Haven't started it. If anyone knows where to get a great video on how to cut like a small hank of variegated silk or a large hank of variegated cotton silk, like just variegated, a larger quantity to cut your own, I am planning on starting this. And I want it to look like Northern Lights. It's called Forget Me Not, which is our state flower. And so I have changes planned in mind. And this is the combo I want to use. I want it to look like Northern Lights. It's going to be 1/1. I really hope 50 yards is enough. I'm not exactly sure how to tell, but I think it's going to look fabulous. This is Picture This Plus. It came with the yard tag on it. There we go. Crystal Mystic. It came as a 1 yard piece. I ordered it as a fat quarter. Hence why this is like all crossed off and this one's circled. And I think it's going to look fabulous. I can't wait. But I wanted to get some other stuff finished. So we'll get to that stuff here soon. Let me put that in my bucket. There we go. This is a stitch along I was doing with Sarah, the first Sarah. And I know I don't need that many pieces for a bisque new. I guess if it was all going to be white, but they don't match up. There's a small one, and then there's two of this size, and there's two of this size, and the big one. So I got carried away making squares, and I made a 30 by 30, and two 40 by 40s, two 50 by 50s, and then a 60 by 60. And then I had to make all the bottoms for them. This is from 2021, I think. Wasn't it the most recent issue, Sarah? Of just cross stitch ornaments? I think it was. So there's my 30 by 30 and 40 by 40s, 50 by 50s, 60 by 60. So I will take the correct ones, corresponding with the little holly leaves. And I have red beads to put around this and to accent with and all the things. But 3 and 3, and then the empty ones. I'm not sure what I'm putting in the empty ones. These were a pain to stitch. I don't like them. This is 40 count. I got this beautiful green emerald something fabric from Starlight Stitchery. Not a bad price at all. Fat quarter of opalescent, and it was like $23. I shouldn't be telling you this because now you're going to buy all this Starlight Stitchery fabrics, and I just discovered them. But those two are going together. I think they'll be beautiful. They're going to make that, in case I forgot to say, that little Biscornu tree stack that's in the blue section of the magazine towards the end by I don't know who. And I'm sure it wasn't for 40 count, but you know me, I never do things like they're supposed to be. So I picked a darker green. I want to say 519, but I don't even know if that's a green. That's just what's stuck in my mind as the color I used. Who knows if it's correct. Oh, here's the tag for the fabric. See, $23.50. And they have free shipping at $50. Unless you live close enough to pick up. I'm going with free shipping. This is not finished, but I've worked on this a lot since you've last seen it, especially. Oh, look, I still have a needle in there. This is my Little Sheep Virtues. It's not done, but once I work on something for a few days, I'm ready to move on. About 5 days, and then I call it quits and go to something else. I know 5 days is a long time to work on one piece at a time, but that's how I do it. And the piece I usually show you as the cover is this. Doesn't look better stitched up. It sure does. Yeah, I know. My drawing skills aren't the greatest, but I am practicing, I guess it's calligraphy, with a brush pen for my journal. I should show you that. I think I put it in the bottom of the stack. So maybe my drawing skills will improve too. I've actually been doing my lettering while Daniel practices his handwriting, and he handles his handwriting a lot better when Mommy also has to be practicing making letters. Yeah, so that's working well. Very well. Oh, this is kind of a pattern. This was kind of my own thing. I don't see a cover here for it. Nope. Nope, I don't. It's the Blackbird Design freebie, but I recharted with a different quote. I shortened a little bit because I didn't need that much room for letters, and I didn't do the bird. I took this center part from a Sue Hillis Designs, maybe Keepsakes 1, Keepsakes 3, Keepsakes, I think it was a Keepsakes leaflet, and put my initials there, well, sort of, first and middle, Amy Clarissa, and then the year over here. I either finished this at right at the end of the year. No, I think I finished this just a few days into the new year. But it was for a Black Sampler in November. And I started in October and I finished it in January. So I really like how it turned out. I don't mind having blank space. And this was stitched with Cauldron by Stitch Me, the silk. And this is Fiber on a Whim Dusk. 28 count linen. I don't know where I got this. I want to say I also won this from a Black Needle Society retreat, which means it must have been The one that had that giant moth on the pattern. I don't remember what that retreat was called. It was the only other one I did. And I know the 2 fabrics I won for Autumn and Stars Hollow were both 16 count. So that means I must have gotten this one. Because they give fat quarters in their big prizes. And this is a fat quarter. So I must have gotten it with the other retreat. I just don't remember what it was called. It was right around my birthday. Yep, don't remember. Okay, moving on. Charts that need put away. Let's not show those. All right. That will work. This is for Sarah G. I really need to put it into a card and get it in the mail because tomorrow's the end of January. But look how cute! This is by Sweet Annette on Etsy. Goodness. And I did not do the background. This is supposed to be full coverage and it's supposed to say good morning. I don't know if she's a morning person. I wouldn't mind. I am a morning person. But I went with hello and I'm just going to cut an oval window in the card. Not oval. The square oval. Rectangle. Oh, good grief. Anyway, moving on. And that's what I'm going to do for her series this year. I'm going to do these rectangle aperture cards and have a Sweet Annette design in them. Because if you get them 40% off, you can get a set of 10 stamps for $12. And I have done that a couple of times. So I really want to stitch them and I don't want to make them full coverage. So I'm just going to use fancy fabrics instead of white and cover the entire back. I think that's so cool. I love the colors on this one. And no, I did not follow the proper backstitching lines. I picked 2 of the colors that were already in the design and went from there. This is a freebie from Modern Folk Embroidery. I think I have a cover. I did not stitch all of it. I didn't measure my fabric, which I always do, but it was getting late and I didn't feel like measuring anything that night. I just wanted to do a little stitching and go to bed, and so that's what I did. And really should have measured the fabric because this is what it turned into. This one's fully finished because it's for a swap. This design right here, I only had like an inch at the top. Whoops. That was not going to fit the whole design. I couldn't even, knowing that I was going to do a sewn finish, I didn't even want to put these on there. So I didn't. I stopped with the heart. It was my favorite part, so that's what I did first. And now it is a zipper pouch slash pocket. What did they call this? I found the tutorial as a freebie on the web, and it was from 2014, I think. If I can find it again, I will link it. It was not hard. I didn't follow it exactly. Her method for putting in a zipper, I did not do. I used my favorite method. And I did a different zipper technique, so you don't have those weird, corners that go like that. And I padded it instead of just putting a little interfacing in it. It's quite thick. I almost put too much padding in it. What else was I going to tell you about this? There was something and then I lost my train of thought. I don't remember. There it is. That's how much I stitched. Oh, it was called, when I looked it up, I searched for circular knitting needle pattern tutorial or something like that. So it's supposed to have circular knitting needles here. And it has a girl's name in the title. Yeah, again, I don't know. Sunday afternoon. I don't usually have to think on a Sunday afternoon. But it goes this way for the knitting needles. And it was written, there was supposed to be a snap here, and I didn't want to go through stitching. I would have had space here, but, And then I wanted it to fit the zipper, so it's a little bit longer than the original. I can't do anything without making adjustments to it. I just can't. So, that's what it looks like. It's getting mailed off tomorrow. So is good morning. The hello. This had to happen. This had to happen. A receipt from ABC Stitch Therapy. Oh yeah, I finally got that white opalescent fabric I ordered last Memorial Day. It's in stash. I really have cleaned the couch off since the end of October, But everything got organized. All my threads are put away. All my charts have been re-inventoried and organized because my phone died. And it was very unexpected. And to get the app that I had that organized everything, I was going to have to pay for it again. And so anyway, there was a lot of organizing that went on after I felt better in November, so the very end of November, and the couch got cleared off. It's been collecting since then. So all of December, minus the stuff I gifted, and then now January. And I do have my mom's piece here. No, I don't. I took it back. Gave it back to her because she has a frame. I should have grabbed that from her this afternoon. It's done. It looks great. It's going to fit in an 11 by 14. It's only like this big. All 12 Lizzie Kate months. I'll have to put a note to insert that next video. I don't want to edit. I'll figure it out. It looks fabulous. It turned out really, really good. I used Sulky on 36 count linen. All my own like color conversions. Almost exactly the same as I did for myself in 2020. It looks great. It turned out fabulous. I can't believe I forgot I don't have it. Oh well, moving on. I did finish a couple more things. I stitched the rest of this guy right here, and I never stitch on 14 count Aida, but I bought this WIP. I don't like starting my own things. I got this off Stash Unloading, and it was at least 2/3, maybe 3/4 done. It took like 2 hours to finish this. Yeah, I know. So she had most of the bird done, all of this done. I put in at least these leaves and this pine cone here. I remember doing that. And I had to do his legs and like the beak part, and two of these stripes were done. So 2 more of these stripes on his head. The snowflake was done. Yeah, 2 hours. I'm pretty sure it took 2 hours to do what's here. So a lot of it was already done. It came on an entire fat quarter of tarnish, 14 count Aida, picture this plus, and the chart, brand new, well, it was an original copy of the chart. It was not in new condition, but still very beatable. It was $15, I think, plus 3 shipping. Yeah, the fabric's worth that, So he's going to be incorporated into a project bag because I need wintry ones, or Christmassy, or however he strikes you. We don't have cardinals up here, but he's lovely. So I finished that. I also finished this WIP. I did not buy this as a WIP. I won this one as a WIP. And when it arrived, the snow was just finishing melting last year. It was like last April. And I went, I don't want to stitch snow. So I didn't. I stitched this in December. And this is a Stitching with the Housewives pattern. Oh, you guys probably recognize this one. It was the Cottage Garden Sampling Mary, maybe? I don't know. The one with the cardinal. That everyone says, oh, that was bigger than I thought the design would be. Yep, me too. That one got me. And I'm usually a really good guesser on size. This is a Stitching with the Housewives chart. I don't know where she got the fabric. Is a Zweigart base. Yeah, Stitching with Friends. They don't make videos very often either. The one that Stitching Goddess Designs, Athena used to be part of. Yes, them. Holly and Laura, and yeah. So she had stitched most of this again. So the little snowflakes that are very colorful up here, this guy, that guy, the whole truck, the dog, this entire snow person, and then this bottom part of the snow person, I think it was. And then I stitched all of that, and I want to say I gave it legs too. And then I wrote North Pole, because I wasn't about to do the little, I think they were chickens down here. No, I'm just going to do it like that, finish it as a pillow. I've got this idea in my head where it won't have the little pointy corners. So that's coming. And then I will have fabric top and bottom that I can use for stuff. I really want to do a lot of drums, and I think it'd be really cool to have a sparkly strawberry. So maybe the Erica Michaels berries will go on here. I think this was an 18 count. I'll have to measure it. Not really sure. And I don't know what color she used, but I think that I matched them okay. I didn't even try to match the scarf. They just have different scarf colors. And I tried to match the brown and the red and the white, and just, I didn't quite get the noses correct. I think she probably used a variegated on hers. and was at a dark spot, and mine was a little bit lighter. It's fine. They're like cousins. They're not the same snow person. So anyway, yeah, I'll just measure the count and make sure it's big enough for a strawberry, but I really, really like the Erica Michaels winter berries. Not crazy about the other months or seasons. The spring ones are okay, I guess. Spring and winter are usually the seasons that call to me. Not really an autumn person. Summer tends to be very beachy, and I'm not a beach person, so really like the winter, and sometimes spring will be really nice too. So I think it would be fabulous to have the berries on this, the winter ones, which I haven't ordered yet, but you know, everyone's buying them right now. It'll calm down and I'll order them in a bit. This one is a puntini, and as I say that, I'm like, is that correct? I'm pretty sure it was a puntini. It is. Puntini. Gingerbread freebie. And I wrote down the DMCs that I saw Mouse Potato Designs use. I thought those looked great. And then I decided I was going to use, again from 1884 Stitchery, the Aversois Swaddle silks that I had gotten. And I only had maybe a dozen colors. I don't think I even had that many. But anyway, I found a brown, a white, you know, that kind of color. And as I started the one brown, I was like, well, that's really dark. So I did the lighter brown. Like, yeah, that's probably right. But now I either have to take him out or I had to put another one in. So I just alternated them, and we've got some gingerbread diversity. So these are Aversois Swaddle, and I have the ring together of colors that I used. So probably in my box of stuff that needs put away. But this is silk. I really liked using them. They were lovely. And yep, it makes mine different from everybody else's. Like everything I do. Alright, last one that I'm seeing here, and then we'll do a little WIP Parade. Although my planner's right here. I don't know, we'll see what I feel like. I finally stitched up on a little piece of Heaven's Fury that I got in the like small piece bin at Keepsakes. Oh, that's a really bad color. Well, anyway, this is by Fiddlesticks AU. It's still there last I checked. Sometime this month. And it's not very expensive. It's like $2.57. This was for the Australia Wildlife Relief Rescue Foundation. I don't know. Let me just add on more words there. And it's a very pink fabric, bits of yellow in it. And this is all they had. And I grabbed it and I thought this was really cool. My first time stitching on Joblin, which I've heard is very, very different than Lugana, and I didn't notice any difference. So maybe in the future I will do Joblin? I don't know. I think I have one piece because it was Princess from Be Stitch Me, and I love the fabric color and I love the fabric name, and I went in and bought it. But anyway, I've been too afraid to use it. So this was Heaven's Fury Joblin, and it went great. I used the DMC that were recommended, and I just realized I forgot to tell you what this fabric is. I think this was in a grab bag, and I don't know what fabric this is because it probably came, you know, this big. And then I stitched it on this side because it'll probably be a viscose, let's face it. And then this will be an ETC or a bookmark or something. But it's usable. I use fabric that size. Alright. Planner. Well, sure, we'll flip through that real fast. I have the stitching journal and planner from Black Needle Society. It came in the November box. Fabulous box. Fabulous box. I just got the January one a couple days ago, Thursday. I got it mid-afternoon Thursday. I've heard, while I was waiting for it, after it got shipped, and people were getting theirs like Monday, Tuesday. I was like, oh no. I heard that if you loved this box, you probably wouldn't love the Happy Hour box. It's true. If you love the Happy Hour box, you probably weren't crazy about the November box. Yeah, well, I loved the November box, wasn't crazy about the January box. Although the fabric was surprisingly beautiful green. I'm not a green person. But I opened it and I was like, spring. I need to do something spring, more bunnies or something. I don't know. Okay, so in my planner, there's no pen loop, so this goes in the coil, but it flips all the way around. Love that. Love these strong corners. I did make tabs for certain places that I want to access frequently, and then I made an insert that's too big. But anyway, I always put an envelope in the front, whoops, name and address, and so I can put little notes from my son or whatever I want to put there. Haven't filled this stuff out. I wrote my name. But it had different challenges and stuff, and I wrote a couple things in the beginning. Probably the most important is stitching goals. Stitch drums, try a drum finish. My ornament style for this year, I pick all the same style. It's way easier than doing them all differently. So I picked my stocking ornament style for this year. That's what I'm doing. And then finish that Thomas book bag, which is right here. Focus projects. I did a few of those too. Thomas book bag being one of them. And then in the back, instead of having any kind of note paper, they have, I guess graph paper is a type of note paper, but still it was surprising to me there was no lined paper. Nothing that says notes or just a note, or what could you write besides a note? I don't know, but like basic lined paper. So in the back at the end of the finished project section, there are a few pages of graph paper. So I did a focus board, and then you can see right here where I sketched out that North Pole. So I haven't even finished it. WIP Go and all those sales and things like, I don't remember the exact hashtag, but Roy Holt's doing Christmas stitching on the 25th, or Mira Monday, or Mill Hill Monday, or Santa Saturday, or anything like that where you have to pull out a specific project for a specific day of the week, or always working on, is it Pam from Land of Good Enough, whose birthday is the 14th, so that every 14th of the month she pulls out this project and works on his project. If I have requirements like that, it doesn't happen. I pull out my project and I work on it for up to 5 days, and then I work on something else. A lot of times I'll finish it because I don't usually stitch things that are bigger than 100 by 100. But like Little Sheep Virtues, I'll just rotate it. I think that's going to work really, really well for me. I wish I'd realized that a little bit sooner, but I only have like 10 whips to run through. So anyway, instead of doing a WIP Go board, because that would also make me work on something at a specific time, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So I have a focus board which incorporates those goals from the beginning. So stitch an ornament. Stitch an ornament. I've got 3 of those. Finish the Thomas book bag. I really, really want to get that done this year if you haven't picked up on that yet. Finish Sleeping Bee. I did that. Finish a drum. Stitch a drum. See, they relate back to that page. And then I might as well show you January. There are some other challenges in the front. This is the end of them, my first tab. And then you have to be really, really careful with the tabs. I know they are going to change this next time, but they are just basic paper. These are not super sturdy, and so you have to be really careful because they bend just by looking cross-eyed at them. But they're doing okay right now. I do keep it in a bin. I'll just show you this like page overview. So this is my month at a glance, my monthly spread, they call it in bullet journaling. And so I went back a little bit to catch that date night, because we hardly ever have a date night at the end of December. And then we've got Christmas right there. And then I went ahead and numbered it through. These are days where I spent too much time working, sewing, and didn't get any stitching done. This one also needs an X. I picked it up the next day to write what I'd worked on. That's what I do. And I started writing on the wrong day. So I had to go back, put a sticker, and be like, you did too much housework that day to stitch. So I've missed several days, but it looks pretty even if I miss a day. These were special stitching days with my mom. I went to town Friday and did major shopping. I hadn't been to town since the 1st. And my son loves to look at this. It shows what I stitched each day. I got these really cool date covers from Midnight Snack Planner. I'm pretty sure. I'll try to remember to link those too. And then I've got these little kitties. I want to say those are from Star City Designs. Midnight Snack, Midnight Snack. These might be from Orange Umbrella, these new little planner ones. I had a meeting that day, so those are going to mark my meetings. I think that one's also from Midnight Snack. Yeah, so that's how I do it for the day. So when I'm done with my stitching at night, flip to the monthly overview, write down what I stitched on. Then I turn the page and I fill out this. So this only takes a couple minutes. I check the time when I start. If it's about 30 minutes, which has happened once, usually if I sit down, it's for at least an hour or an hour and a half. Those are my most frequent colors. Usually over 3 hours is 3.5 hours. So next month I might just make it 3.5. Also, I needed 2.5 this morning, and I don't have a 2.5. So I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. But there's the 2 blank days. The other blank days are no stitch days. So I haven't decided. I guess I'm just going to leave them blank. Maybe I could color them black, because black and brights look really cool. I don't know. We'll see. This is super, super hard to read. I love that these work together, and I like the concept of them and how I'm using them. But this is really hard to read. Anyone I've told my planner about is like, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. She complains about this every time we see this page. I don't like it. It looks cool, but it's a pain to read. It's annoying to fill out. There's only 8 spaces. This needs to change. I think I'm going to have to paste something over it for February. I can't deal with this all year. I stuck with it for an entire month. It's got to go. So I wrote the first one, and I've marked, I didn't stitch on that 5 days in January. I really thought I had. Either I'm thinking of the end of December, or I was thinking the first 5 days and I didn't. I have a little play button when I start a new project, and then it gets this dark outline, kind of like the stop button, but I don't know why I do it that way. It's just how I've always done it, and I'm continuing it. So I went ahead and did the Holly and Ivy Biscuit News. So I started 2 sets. I finished 1 set right there. That's why there's a 1. There's not usually a number in there. And then you have to like follow it around weird, and it's really hard to keep track of. Like I said, it only fits 8 things. So when I did Hot Cocoa, I'd already touched 8 projects this month, so I had to write in another one and then track it. And I did put a number here because that's the number of hours, and I just realized that's not consistent with the number that's I'll figure that out. I like the idea, but I do not like reading it. As a whole, I don't like it. Let's leave it there. So that's what I do every day. If my son says something cute, or if I want to be like, hey, did you know January 13th was National Sticker Day? Big sticker companies have big sales for that day. So I might want to remember that next year. The 12th was National Hot Tea Day. Stuff like that. Just family stuff my son says, or random holidays. That's what I've put on the dailies. I've tried doing other things. Top 3, the business, life, and the other business. And it only lasted for like 3 days. So basically I don't need dailies, but I was trying to use them. I've been trying for like 3 years to use dailies. So my other attempt. This big thing that's sticking out back here, in case you were curious, this is my days stitched. So I will color in these I'm going to do at the end of the month, which is almost here. So I will color the days of the month that I stitched, so at the end of the year I can see how consistent I was in my stitching. And then over here, this is what I use all the time, and I make it for myself. Oops, I made it a little too big. I just used the Levenger disc punch, and I punched it, and then I moved it over very carefully and punched exactly in between where it punched the first time, and then just slid it in, this coil bound. And I've tried to post this onto the Facebook group page that Athena created, and it won't let me. So eventually I gave up because I only have so much time. This is where I mark starts and finishes. So, and I only did this for 1. Well, I need to get another one of these so that I can go and mark when I had starts and mark all the days I did starts, and then another one that says finishes, and I mark all the days I had finishes. unless I try to combine it into one chart, but I usually have two separate ones. Oops. It's amazing the things you discover when you're trying to show somebody else, and you're like, I did that wrong. Now I gotta fix it. And that's how I'm using the planner. It's working great. I also have a sticker book that I use with it to keep those stickers I was telling you about. Hold on. It's right here. It's also from Midnight Snack. This is the band that came on the planner from Black Nemo Society. It works great. It's adorable. I got this on her Black Friday sale. You know, that holiday that comes after Thanksgiving. Alright, so what do I have for WIPs? Finished a lot of projects. Well, I also started most of those projects. Sleeping Bee was old. The 2 yearly pieces were old. This one's not finished, but it did get work. I think the rest were new. Here's the Thomas book bag that I've already mentioned at least 3 times. It needs a border on the other side. This is on waste canvas. A dark denim tote bag, probably from Joann's. And I need to finish the tracks. There's a little bit of missing stitching there, and then a few stitches through his buffer. So yeah, that needs finished. I love how I did the border on this. Just have to do all of this. I think I did the train in 3 strands. This is DMC. It's from a magazine, an old cross stitcher magazine. There were 2 that featured Thomas on the front cover, and I know it's not issue 108 because that's the one I don't have. It's the other one that features Thomas on the cover. So I do have a hard copy of that. Actually, nope, it's not in there. Never mind. I must have finally copied it because for a long time I just kept the magazine in here. But that's probably my oldest WIP. I think I started that the year I started stitching would have been 2019. Yes, I've bought several thimbles in the quest to find the perfect thing to use while stitching that. Now I'm to the point where it's just slower, and so like I don't feel fast because it's not fast, and it's a little discouraging. This has fabulous colors. I don't think I have a cover for it. This one is by Doreen Jones. I might still have a back like this. And I might still have a back like this. I'm not sure. Those are ones that did go in the shop though. Every once in a while I make myself a one-of-a-kind, but those were in the shop. I don't know if they still are. So I'm working on this Doreen Jones freebie. This is like a mandala type of design. I think maybe it's even got it in the title. It's a daffodil flower, and it's got fabulous colors. Okay, my card does say daffodil mandala. These are the DMCs. They are beautiful, and I picked a black fabric. I'm pretty sure that's how it was shown. Striking. Isn't that beautiful? I know it's roses, but I didn't have daffodil. So if it's the right number of holes, great. If it sort of fits the theme, even better. If it doesn't, too bad. So there's the page you saw. It will fit. It's a square design roughly in this space. I'll go like that. So I'm just working on the white outline, and then all those gorgeous colors fill in. But that's why there was so much white on here. Beautiful. It's going to be gorgeous. But I can only stitch on this one for like 2, maybe 3 days at a time because it's all white on black. And it's winter. Why am I working on black fabric in winter? I don't know. I'm by the window, so I guess that helps. I don't know. But it's a big mandala, and it's a lot of white, so I only work on it 2, maybe 3 days at a time. This is kind of a WIP, but I don't know how much of it I'm going to do yet. Oh, look at that. I almost have 3 dogs done. I thought I only had 2 dogs. This is by Abby Sue Designs. The Dogs of Disney Style. I know they're not lined up. They're going to be cut apart, and then I will put them into a quilt. And then I also have her Cats of Disney, and I'm getting the Fab 50 as well. This is, what was the color? I overdyed it with purple, but it came as, I think, lavender Lugana, and then I just dipped it in purple. like did a purple dye on purple fabric. It's gorgeous. So I will fit as many pets as I can on here. Then I might try to duplicate it and do some more. They're adorable. Now that I know who all is being released, I can pick my favorites. There were, what, 4 bonus dogs, and then if you bought the file off of Etsy after it was a paid purchase, then there were 4 extra. I don't remember. It was from the summer, but I think there were like bonus dogs. And for those of us who had done the summer follow and already had all the dogs, she let us buy just the bonus dogs that were supposed to be like exclusive to the entire chart package deal on Etsy. So I have all of them, which is 32 dogs or something. It's a lot. So I'm sure I can find 12 realistic dogs that I know and love to make into a low quilt. So I'm still planning on that, but it's kind of a whip. Like, I can stop whenever, but I had intended on doing more. So figured I'd show it to you. This you've seen around, not necessarily on my channel, because I haven't worked on it in a while. I started the SAL. I know I started August, I think 2019. I think this is my 2019. And I stitched the first release, this right here, in 2 days, August 30 and 31. So I don't remember how close that was to the release. I'm sure it was pretty close, but I stitched him right away, and then I fell behind very quickly. It didn't take too long to figure out that SALs were not for me, because they release them on a specific day, and then you have a week, maybe 2 weeks, at the longest, a month, which is not usually the case, to get it stitched before the next one. Well, if that wasn't in my schedule, yeah, anyway. I dyed a piece of Ada for this. It's got an oversized Hello Kitty on it. There, see? That whole big thing I did in 2 days. And then I worked on it a little here and there. I took it on the plane last May, I think it was, when we went out of state. Left the chart on the airplane. And then, of course, every time I want to go print it, the printer is either acting up or it's out of ink. We don't have more ink. So I think I've finally gotten it printed off, and I can make more progress on it. Something was always going wrong with that one. I'm just using the DMC, and the chart is free online, Forced Embroidery. So that's what I've got in this bag. This is one of my ABC bags. A little bit smaller than the normal size, but that's why it's not on the shop. Because when you're the creator and something turns out too wrong to sell, you keep it. All right, what else do I have started? Yes. I have North Pole Pals on this adorable owl wooden organizer. This is one of my first ones. Lovely. It's got snowmen in it. That's why it's got oranges. But kind of wintry. Oh, I forgot I had that one. Oops. And I bought a large piece of Ariel by Picture This Plus. So it's a snowman and a penguin snowball fight. And this is what I've got done. The snowman's almost done. This is beautiful. So pretty. And I was going to stitch all 12 of them and then change them out. So I have a piece of fabric big enough for all of them. This book is on clearance at Stony Creek. It's like $3.50. They're adorable. It's pictured on an Afghan. I need to get back to this. I know a lot more now than I did then. Some of these little animal characters, okay, let's face it, all of them. When I started, I didn't know what I was doing. Fractional stitches, like how do you know which one to put on top? Usually that's a backstitch line, which I know now, but I didn't know that then. And so, yeah, I will fold him up later. I've learned a lot. I'm a little afraid to go back to him. But he's adorable, and the cover's not in here, so. Oops. Oh, there's 2 penguins. 2 penguins. Yeah. So I've got a lot done. A lot as in like half. Okay, what's this one? Oh, I know what this is. This is Emma Congdon. This was featured on a magazine. Look at my little Olaf. This is by House of Mang. This little Olaf here. And I did this because of Facebook challenges. That's why I started this. And it's got like the hot cocoa recipe here. And then this is almost the entire cup. And so I would stitch on this for challenges when I was in the Disney group. And then I was like, you know, I'm in it. I was committed. 2 months maybe. And then life, like especially spring. Want to do stuff on spring break. You know, snow's hopefully starting to melt. And weather's getting warmer. And you know, wanting to go to the park, wanting to get out, see if the path is cleared. You can take walks and all the things, and you've got to get work samples in, and then there's end of the year graduations and recitals and, you know, all the things. I haven't been back. But I also haven't started anything just to meet a challenge. So there's that. I forgot that was in this bag. I have fairy roses. Made a rose bag. Because this is my largest Q-snap. And I don't necessarily like holding it, but look how gorgeous she is. There's aquas on the other side. There we go. She's beautiful, and I did not realize that Nora Corbett's could be that big. Let me tighten her up so you can see her hair. But they can. They can be huge. She is the size of a Mirabilia. She's got beads. She's got all the things. The cover's not in here, so if you want to see her, she's called Fairy Roses. And I thought this would be a good one to start with. She's color blocked. She's huge. But she's like aqua, green, yellow, pink, you know, and then the girls in the middle. So, I'm sure she is a good one to start on. But if I knew then what I know now, I would have started with something smaller. Looked at that stitch count more. This is a piece of, I think, Joann's linen. Again, I started this on my first stitching anniversary because, you know, you have to have a start on anniversaries and special days and like solstice and leap day and all the things, which you don't. I don't do that anymore. But on my first anniversary of stitching, I was really feeling the need to start something because it's what I reached my size limit. So I started a thing. Have I worked on her? Hardly. So I joined Pam from Stitching Atlanta Good Enough's Fancy Lady Style. It's going to be on Thursdays, which is perfect for me. And then she had to move it to Tuesday, which is not at all perfect for me. I never would have joined if it's on Tuesdays because I would never be able to come. So I missed the first one. Womp womp, my son would say. What can I say? I didn't sign up for Tuesdays, so I felt bad, but at the same time I didn't because that wasn't my original agreement. So hopefully Thursdays works out for her in the future. And like, see, I was keeping these because, you know, are you supposed to keep them? Are you supposed to throw them out? I didn't know. I'll throw them out next time I get this project out. Also, I had heard that using highlighter was how you're supposed to mark your charts. So I was like, okay, but they're kind of a pain, you know, because you have to take off the cap and everything. So somebody told me about click highlighters. Now I know a pen, a regular ballpoint pen, is best for me. Oh, the things we learn as we progress in our craft. Oh, and right there, see if I would put the piece of Velcro on where I marked it needs to go. I could use that flat head flower pin. They're my favorite. But I only think of it when I get her out, and I've only worked on her a handful of times. Because I used to stitch on her with Little Lion Stitchery. She had a Friday morning sale. And then something happened. Out of town, health, busy life. I'm not exactly sure. But that stopped, so my poor Fairy Roses has not gotten a lot of work. How many are we at? Like 4? Okay, I think I have 4 more. This is Happy Everything by Imaginating. Again, I was brand new. I didn't know what I was doing. Look, I have a pair of scissors in here without one of my fobs. That needs to change. Let's put these scissors in there. I must like polka dot scissors. This is this guy's size. This is the, it's not size. Style. This is the style fob I make now, and I love it. But at the time, I did not know a lot of things that I know now. So look how big this happy everything is, or rather, how small. This is 40 count, folks. 40 count. Again, would I do it that way? No, I would not. But I already have happy written, and I probably have enough space for everything because it's just over 3 inches to write the whole word happy. I didn't have a plan for this, and maybe, probably, that affected my decision to do 40 count. I hope so, because when it's done, it better go on the intended basket that I planned it for. At least I see size 28 needles in there. Things we learn. Okay, this is that retreat that I can't remember the name of. It's Save Her Life, and I won in one of my prizes this blingy thing. That's why it's on here, because I never use these. But there we go. These are the flosses that came with it. We got the kit. It's 36 count. You can tell how much I love 36 count, can you? Oh, look, there's my turtle. This is a beautiful dark purple linen. Yep, like that color. And oh, look, it's almost 4:30. I gotta get my husband up from his nap. I've been chatty. Well, I owe it to you guys. This butterfly is from a book. It came with a giant moth charted there. I don't do moths. I just don't like them. I know I'm crazy, but I stitched this much and then got tired of all that confetti and went up and did this border. So now I gotta finish the butterfly so I can go up and do the other side, and then there's a moon and a quote. Save her life and all its memories. Is what my brain says it's gonna say. I don't know. I can't see the chart. This was designed by Black Needle Society, Katie Landis, and the color is French Lilac. It's an Edinburgh Pictureless Plus. I'm using 1/2. I was trying the stand at that point in time. It's going okay. I will finish it that way, but mostly I'm stitching in hand now. I can just, like, oh look, I have an hour before bed. Come sit on the couch, pull up my project, stitch, not have to worry about lights from devices. Yeah, it's easy, and then I finish, take a couple minutes to mark down what I did, and I'm off to bed. It's lovely. This is the Aurora figure by Abby Sue Designs. Look at that. Huh, I've got some stuff parked, which I'm sure would have been helpful if I had worked on it again in a decent amount of time, but anyway. So she's on the Abby Sue Designs Etsy page. This is a piece of sparkle, probably 32 count, I'm not really sure, that I dipped lightly in pink of some sort and a purple of some sort. I don't know which one. If it was purple, if it was royal purple, like I don't know. I don't remember, and I don't know if I wrote it down. But these are all the colors that were supposed to be. She was supposed to just be stitched on the white, as I recall. And she's got some lovely colors. And since I don't have an Aurora bag, I don't think I have any more of this one. But I'm keeping her in that. See, look at the pretty colors. Yeah. I don't know if I have any more of this bag either. Maybe one. Pretty sure I'm out of this one. See why I got to keep this one? Oops! The birds are upside down. Yeah. Told you I get to keep all the mistakes. So that's one. I can't wait to get back to her. I did Merida for my sister for her birthday. Yeah, I started that one too late. Suddenly I went, I have a week till Julie's birthday, my sister. And I had to suddenly, quickly, frantically stitch the entire Merida figure in 1 week. So it was ready for her birthday. I did it. And for that week, my Instagram was alive on the stories. Yeah, haven't been so good since then. I know. But you know what? I've been enjoying life in the moment. And it is a lovely way to do it. Last one. This one I actually had in my bag for today. This is one of my first ones. I'm getting to the point now, it's like, oh, that was one of my first ones. I don't know what I was doing. But I was telling you about the little characters. I love these little characters, like Tatty Teddy, like Stitch and Bobbin, like, what was the other one? They're just cute, these little like stuffed animals. So I'm almost done with this one. Look how much is marked off in highlighter, because that was back then, highlighter. This is the cover of Cross Stitch Crazy, August 2016. Thank you, Pastel, for making that note right on the chart. Yes, Cross Stitch Crazy. I just picked the DMC that it said to use, and hopefully it is quite accurate and the back stitching isn't too terrible, because according to this, it's almost done. And I won this from Bendy Stitchy as well. This probably was one of my first charts, and I thought they were adorable, and so I wanted to stitch them. And this is a piece of sparkle fabric, and sure enough, look at all of this bear that we have, and this puppy who desperately needs his face accentuated so you can actually see his eyes and such. We just need that tower of cupcakes. And this also has a needle. Look at all the needles I'll have when I get my projects finished. That's all I have for projects. Sorry they don't have covers. But if you are a diehard WIP Parade watcher, there you go. That's what I've got. And then another thing I did at the end of, I think that was the end of December, when I was completely organizing my stuff. I'd lost the app, so, you know, all the chart inventory and organizing the threads. I got some Allison Rosen D-Stash threads, overdye threads. They're pretty, but I had none, and so I had to figure out where to store those, all the things. But one thing I did at the end of December, in the midst of all that, it somehow led to finishing the kits that I had started 2019, 2020, when I didn't have much of a fabric stash. So I had pulled threads, put them on one of my organizers, and put it in a bag with the chart copy that I'd made. So I had to go through, because I knew I had project bags. They're all the same kind, all the same style. This was a one-of-a-kind that I did for myself. Piece of fabric was barely big enough. And so I have more bags like this. Where did they go? What are they being used for? Well, they had threads and charts. So I went through and added fabric to all of those, found some more charts I really wanted to get stitched in the near future, and made them into little kits. And so now, when I want my charts, I have a few to finish. But like when I finish this guy, I'll just go to the bins. I have 2 bins of kits now that I've put together. I think maybe there's one over there. The Philanthropic Pumpkin came as a kit. But other than that, I put them all together myself. And these just line up really, really nicely in those decorative storage boxes from Joann's. Are they large? Are they medium? They're like the $20 size, I think. They're kind of oval, like a rectangular oval, or maybe rounded corner oval. What is wrong with my shapes today? Rounded quarter rectangle. Does that make sense? Kind of, you know, rounded end. They're not squared. They fit these beautifully. So I just have them lined up, and I keep looking over there because they're right there, and lined up with their beautiful zipper pulls. This one actually doesn't have one, but most of them do. Some of them I make myself, and the rest I get from, like this one. I got this one from Boutique Charms. Most of them I get from her. Once in a while she'll have a really good sale. So most of them have beautiful charms, and then they just line up, and you can see the beautiful edges. I have 2 boxes like that. So I don't know how many I'll get through, but the plan is to keep doing what I've been doing through this month. Work on something old for a couple of days, 3 days, usually 3 if it's like the white on black. If it's something more colorful like sheep, closer to 5 days. And then do a small, which whoops, that was happy everything, which usually doesn't take me very long. I mean, if it's like the good morning, which I changed to hello, a couple days probably. And then if it's something bigger, like the hot cocoa, which is 83 by 91, then I think that was more like 5 days. So now I'll probably go back and work on Little Sheep for a couple more days, and then restart it in February. Does that make sense? So work on a WIP, 3 to 5 days, do something new. Go back to a WIP, work on something new. And I need to stitch for Sarah G, and I'm going to stitch for Sarah R pretty soon. Maybe do another swap. We'll see. It's keeping me busy. I'm really enjoying it, and I don't have too many WIPs. I think I started the year with like 13. I don't think I showed you that many just now. But I know I finished the Black Sampler. I know I finished Sleeping Bee this month. I just finished Hot Cocoa, but I just started Hot Cocoa too. So I guess if I pulled out the planner, I would know. But that's what I'm doing. I'm still here, and I'm putting lots of stuff in the shop. So if you need kitted up pouches, I just restocked. And I will have some, oh, I mentioned I'll have some like one-of-a-kind things. I don't know if I can grab them. Just a second. I don't want to knock you over. But I just bumped you, didn't I? You're still there. I have a couple of bags that I made. Every once in a while I just need a break. And so I'll grab scraps, make stuff like this. And there's no vinyl. I just need a break from vinyl every once in a while. So fully lined, no exposed seams. This is probably going in the shop soon. Just little scraps. This is smaller scraps. Something like this. I just kind of go crazy and have fun every once in a while because I need a break. So we've got variegated thread. We've got specialty stitches. We've got all sorts of crazy patchwork, and it's bigger than a kitted up. See? So this is just blues. I had this piece of puppy dogs big enough for the back, again quilted. The front is all like quilt as you go, pieced, decorative top stitch, quilted. And then what did I find for the inside? Oh, it doesn't even match. Yeah, it's just blues and aquas scraps. But it's slightly padded. This one was too. Batting or fusible fleece, or you know, some sort of padded stabilizer in there. So these are lovely. This is bigger than I usually use. This is smaller than I usually use. I just have to do something different every once in a while. And so things like this will probably be coming to the shop pretty soon. I don't even know if I put a tag on these. I don't think I did. Nope, I was just sewing for fun and I didn't even put a tag in them. No tag. Anywhere. Sometimes you just have to sew for fun. So those will be coming to the shop probably this weekend as well, when I have time to put that short stack of Ort books and these assorted bags. So some of them will be this fancy and some of them will be this fancy, and they will be all different sizes. And yeah, if you're interested, just check it out. They will of course qualify for free shipping, as my entire shop does. And that's all I've got for you now. Now I'm late to get my husband up, and I've got to piece 2 videos together, and I really hope the program is happy to do that today, because if not, this is going to take forever to get uploaded, which was starting to happen to me for weekly. Record, and then like 2 days later it would finally go up on the air. And for 3 people to comment, like maybe 100 to watch. So I know it's been a while, I'm sorry. And for those of you who are asking me to come back, there you go. I hope it wasn't too disappointing, too overwhelming, or too confusing. But that's kind of how I roll. Once in a while I just have to come back, because I can sometimes remember the rabbit trail I was going to go on, and sometimes I can't, so I just go ahead and take it and then circle back. Oh, and for project cards, in case you cared, I just looked over and saw this. This is what I'm doing. So I always have a note card where I write all the stuff. Like, this is my organizer. I know it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, 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 blah. So I can pull it off really easily. I've started writing the fabric over here. And maybe the number of days I worked on it, or any kind of changes I made or whatever. But I don't usually use a lot of space. And I found throughout last year that this was really enough for me. And I was just taping these in my other book. So I just made this with a quick and easy tutorial off YouTube. Whoops. Ah, look, it's supposed to open that way. Huh, look at that. So then I can just take it out if I want, because it's on those rings that some of us use for fancy floss, right? And, or bobbins, and put it with the project. And then when the project's done, I can go ahead and put it back in here. And then at the end of the year, I will have a whole stack from this year. And if I want to use this exact same cover again, I'll just transfer them to a little recipe box or something, and I can have dividers for each year. Because I have learned about myself recently that I am a very chronological person. So while I understand the want to have everything in a category by designers. So you have all your Lizzie Kate finishes, you know, and all your Plum Street and your Al Forest and your blah, 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 blah. For me, that's not how I work, and I would rather have it, these are all my 2020s, my 2021s, my 2022s, and file it that way. So that's what I'm trying this year as far as project cards go. Yes, I do have some giant ones from the box, if you're familiar with the contents of that November box. I haven't started them. They are 3-year trackers, so when I start the giant Aurora Effect Forget-Me-Not sampler, I will probably start one of those cards, because I'm not planning on doing that in 1 year. And when I finally start this monstrosity right here, which almost was a WIP, but I did not have correct fabric big enough for it, because the fabric I bought, I was like, oh, that's gonna be big enough. Actually not. So that's on order now. This is the train stocking for my son. This information is correct. I don't know why I crossed it out. The copy for it, all the charts, bits of beads, specialty floss, that kind of thing. That will probably get a large tracker, just because there's going to be so many days that I worked on it. Not because I need 3 years. I want it done this year. But yeah, I'll try to find places to use those, just because I have them. If I figure it out for next time, I'll try to show you. Now I've really got to get my husband up. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I will try to come back the end of February and catch you up on all the things creativity in the planner, or whips, or finishes, or whatever. But hopefully I have something interesting, and I won't be waiting till people say, hey, are you going to make a new video? Yes, I did. I did it. I just have to splice it together and get it up. So hopefully you'll be seeing this Monday. I know for most people, Sunday's almost over. And for us, it's not even dinner time. So it's just how the world works. Gotta love time zones. Till next time. See you soon.